Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I apologize, I've not got nails on at the moment. I know, I'm literally just giving them a little bit of a breather before I do my next set. I like to have a few days in between just to give them some time to reset before going back in with another one. Today's video, we'll be doing a price breakdown of my studio. Basically all the things that go into it. I know some people thinking that they want to have a space in their back garden for any workshops, any nails studios, just to have some extra space for things that you can't do within the house. I was literally in my parents' living room doing nails for a while, and it got to the point where my parents were just like, we can't do this anymore. So they helped me to build my own space, and yeah, I will be forever grateful for that, to be honest, because adding it up is a lot of money. So I've got my iPad here where I've made notes of everything and what it costs. So I'm going to not do that. Oh dear. Okay, so first up we have the building. The building itself came from Dunster House. I've never heard of Dunster House before, but all of the local sort of garden building businesses were quite pricey, and I didn't really know enough about like specs and different things. It was quite technical and got quite overwhelming quite quickly because I wasn't sure what I wanted. All I knew is that I wanted a space that was insulated where I could work from. So I really wanted to make sure that the place had insulation. Now, I thought fully insulated was the way to go. When I pictured the studio, I actually didn't think to have like cabin walls. I wanted a sort of drywall thing that I could then paint and then hang things up on and stuff like that. So I had a vision for sort of like smooth walls and not so much wood. But honestly, I really love my space. I really love how it's turned out. It's just so pretty, and it's just me, like it's just my space. So when people come in here, they always say that they just really feel very comfortable, and yeah, I'm really proud of the work that I've done here. But yeah, so the building itself was from Dunster House. It was £4,019.99. I think sometimes they do sales and they do like summer sales and spring sales. I do really love this cabin. It is such good quality. It's insulated in the roof and it's insulated in the floor as well. So honestly, it retains heat so well. Still would recommend to get a heater and a fan because obviously it's very hard to regulate temperature, and obviously if you're doing acrylics or anything, then you need to make sure that the temperature is correct. The only thing is that the wood does not come treated, so you'll need to find someone to treat it if no one can do it. So my dad actually treated the wood for us, so that was free. In terms of the foundation, obviously you're gonna need a base. We had a concrete base put down, and that was £750. Now originally we were quoted like £3,000 for doing the base. In terms of size, I think this is a 2.5 by 3.5. It's not a big space, but it is enough, and I think that's one thing as well, is you want to make sure it's enough for your space. If you're someone who's doing nails but then you want to move on to do lashes and massages, you're not going to fit everything in here. That's just, you know, you need to make sure that you've got a space that's going to be big enough for everything. And obviously that will affect the cost as well. Then obviously we then needed an electrician. So the electrician bill was about £1,500. That was mainly because we had to dig through the garden to get the electrics into here. So it's probably a little bit more steep than what you would be quoted, but that's mainly just because of like the garden work that they had to do as well, because they then had to outsource that to another company so that then we can have the electric siphoned from the house essentially. And then the installation, so actually building the building, because when Dunster House deliver it, it's basically a flat pack. Like it's basically like packing furniture. I said I would be able to do it. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but I did build my own bed last year and it's still standing, and I've also I've DIY'd this whole thing, so I feel like with a little bit of help I actually probably could have set this up myself, because if it comes with instructions and we need, you know, a couple drills, a couple hammers, I reckon I could have done it. Anyway, that was £800 to get it installed. I'm not good at maths, so I'm gonna just do some calculations. So for the building itself, once we add together the foundation, the cabin, the electrician and the installation, that comes up to £7,069.99. So that's where we're at the moment. So when it comes to the inside of the building, this is more to do with like the interior, not so much like the aesthetics, like, you know, shelves and stuff like that. That's kind of done in like the furniture section. So this is just kind of like your basics. So the flooring, because it doesn't come with a floor, this is the thing. So when the building comes, it comes with this sort of, it's not really a floor, to be honest. So that was £200 to do the flooring. I actually had that done by my brother, so I don't know if that's expensive, I don't know if that's cheaper, but it was £200 to my brother for him to do the floor. Lights, I actually got them from Argos, to be honest, and I really love these lights. Like, I've got them on me at the moment because the sun, even though it's very sunny today, the sun is sort of behind the building. The lights are so good. They really give me a lot of like light. I don't want to keep saying light. They were £30 each, and I have 2 sets, so it was £60 for the lights, and then you're adding the bulbs as well, so that was £8.50 a pack, right? And I had to get 2 packs because obviously I've got 2 sets of lights. I keep looking into them and then temporarily blinding myself, so I'm gonna stop doing that. So altogether the lights were £77. Then in terms of like the primer, now this is obviously your choice. If you want to paint the walls, then that's something that you can do. But if you want to save money and not paint the walls, then obviously then you're saving money that way as well. But for me, I wanted to paint the walls. I had a vision and I was like, I want the walls to be white. I just think it would look so much better, especially like with things hang up on the wall. I mean, my nail mirror, for example, I knew it wouldn't look good if it was just on like this wooden cabin type wall. I really needed something that popped, and as well, like, whenever I would record the studio and it was just like brown, it just looked unfinished, like it didn't look put together. So I had to use the Zinsser cover stain one because, as I said earlier, my dad treated the wood and he used like an oil-based treatment from Barentine or something like that. So he was a little bit upset actually after he'd worked so hard to paint it. I was like, I want to paint it white. I have a vision. I have to do this. And obviously, instead of paying someone, I'm just happy to do it myself. Like, have I painted anything in years? No. Do I know anything about painting? No. But I tell you what, the internet is free, and the internet really did help in terms of like what primer to buy, in terms of like what paint to buy. Yeah, God bless the internet. So the primer was Zinsser Cover Stain from Toolstation. I got that for £32.99. The paint itself, like, shout out to Dunelm. Like, I love Dunelm. Like, I've recently fallen in love with that shop so much. Like, I just love it in there. Like, it's just so nice. Like, the quality of things that they have in there is so good. And I just think people don't really talk about Dunelm that much, but I really love Dunelm. So I bought the Shell White paint from Dunelm, and it was £32 at the time. It was on sale 2 weeks after I bought it, which was a bit upsetting to see, but you only need the 1 can though, because I bought 2 cans thinking I was gonna need them all, but honestly, I still have like probably like half a can of paint, like, and I've done 3 coats, right? So if I wanted to do another coat, I honestly could. And the eggshell emulsion doesn't make it like matte, so when the light's shining, you have this kind of very subtle gloss. Like, it's just such a nice paint. If I could recommend a paint, it would be Dunelm. I know some like professional painters will be like, it's not even that good of a paint. It probably isn't, but for me, I really loved it. In terms of like the painting tools, now this is where you can save money, because I was a little bit stupid and didn't really know what paint brushes and stuff that I was buying. So I got like this sort of like set from Amazon which had like rollers in it, and it had like the paint brushes, and it had like painting tape and everything. So I thought, okay, great, that's really sick. Got that for like £30 odd. Then I got some sanding blocks as well to sand the walls down, because especially as well I had the all-base primer on it, so I had to make sure that the walls were sanded. Then yeah, I was just back and forth in B&Q because I kept buying paintbrushes and then like coming back then needing like, oh okay, now I need a paint guard, and now I need a smaller brush, and now I need like a bigger brush. I wanted to get the primer done like in a day, so I had like this big brush I bought for like £10, and it was so terrible at putting the primer on, so that was a waste of £10 right there. So altogether, I would say like painting supplies in terms of like rollers, trays, paint guards, sanding blocks, dust sheets, all of that, I would safely say that was about £75. So altogether for the inside stuff, it's £416.99. So at the moment we have 7,000 for the building and then another 400 just for like the inside stuff. Now in terms of furniture, oh my god, the furniture. I must have missed the memo when people said that furniture was expensive. I had no idea how expensive furniture is. Like a chair could cost you like 80 to 200 pounds. I had this whole spreadsheet of like options and places and discount codes. All of this research, really trying to find the right chairs. I ended up getting them from Amazon. This one and the client one is just, they're so good. And there's one thing as well, I don't know if I should say this. I think it's really important to remember that retailers are not manufacturers. So if you see a chair that you like, and on one retailer it's 75, and on the other retailer it's 85, and you're thinking, well, what's the difference? If you literally cannot see a difference, most likely it's the same manufacturer. They've just done their own markup. So the chair that I have from Amazon, I saw it on another website for almost double the price. And I was really debating because I was like, well, this is like a nail company, you know? You would think that their products and their furniture would be of good quality and they'd be specifically for nail people and the industry. But I just bit the bullet and went with Amazon and I've had no issues. Every time people sit on this client chair, they actually say how comfortable it is. And I'm surprised really because I don't find it that comfortable, to be honest. I did not find it that comfortable, but people are happy to sit there and, you know, so yeah, I think just definitely have a search around. If you see something you like, have a search everywhere because you might just find it cheaper even though it's the same manufacturer. People are buying it to resell it, right? So I'd say just be mindful of that, really. Yeah, I think there's a lot of cases, not just with furniture, but especially in the nail industry as a whole. A lot of these places you're buying from, they're not manufacturers, they're simply a brand. Wish I could remember, my teacher was telling me like all of these brands that have the same manufacturer, right? But they have their own different markups on their products, but actually, it's the same formula, it's the same stuff. So anyway, coming back to furniture, my chair here is an ergonomic chair, so it's got really good back support. This was £45.99. Isn't a bad deal, to be fair, especially Amazon. Came in a couple days, very easy to assemble, and it's sturdy, you know, and it's got wheels on it, so it's good and easy to move around. And the client chair was £39.99, which again, easy peasy. And then it had £4.99 delivery. So altogether that was £44.98. My desk is actually from IKEA. It's built with 2 chests of drawers, like the singular ones, the Alex, and then a tabletop, which I've elevated with some scraps of wood that we had outside. Altogether this was £165, which actually is a bargain because I was having a look online as well for nail tech tables, manicure tables, and I just couldn't see one that I liked. And this is kind of going back to my last point that I said about manufacturers and retailers, because I saw this one manufacturer name that kept popping up. They're retailing with Debenhams, they're retailing with The Range, like these are quite big brands and they're quite reputable. But then you search a manufacturer name on like Trustpilot and the reviews are terrible. Do not buy here, avoid. Things didn't come correctly, the customer service is rubbish, and you just think, I don't want to spend £200 with you guys because if anything goes wrong, I can't get a hold of you, I'm gonna be really annoyed. I think that was another thing that kind of steered me to IKEA, is that IKEA is tried and trusted and true, right? Like I love IKEA, and you know, they had everything in stock. It was again easy to assemble and put together, a nice little project for myself. So yeah, my desk is from IKEA and it's beautiful. I love it. And speaking of IKEA, my shelves are from IKEA. These are the Mosslanders. They are £5 each. I personally didn't pay anything for them because I had vouchers for IKEA. So I have 5 shelves and they were £5 each, so obviously that would be £25. I just think for a second there, oh dear, open the schools. I also have an overflow storage chest of drawers. So for things like my mask or my bibs that I use to protect the table, Obviously they come in really big packs, right? And they're not gonna fit in these teeny tiny drawers that I have here. So I put them in my big set of drawers, which I got for free. How good is that? Facebook Marketplace. I'm telling you, if you have Facebook Marketplace or you have a Facebook account or Gumtree or anything like that, even Nextdoor, the app as well, use it. You never know what people are giving away. And even if you can't get something for free, most likely you can get something for quite cheap, and it can be, maybe it's not the best quality or maybe whatever, but you can do it up. If you buy a chest of drawers and you're thinking, I don't like that color, just paint it, make it your own. Like, I honestly really urge people to just look on like Facebook Marketplace or anything like that, because you really do not know what gems you can find. Okay, so how much did we spend on furniture? So for furniture altogether, I'd spent £280.97, which I don't think is that bad actually. When you put it all together, it's really not that bad. Then obviously taking away the £25 for the shelves, because I personally didn't pay for that, that will be £255.97. When it comes to the decor and all the extras that we love to have around, I really hope I didn't spend too much on this one. So the tiger wall hooks, they were essential. I'm not gonna lie, they were essential. Now, I was just gonna get like a basic coat rack from like B&M or B&Q, or, you know, somewhere just pretty cheap. But Google got me. Google got me so bad. And it was like, oh, what about these golden tiger ones that you love so much? And I was like, oh, I haven't seen those before. Those are interesting. Those are cool. Yeah. So yeah, I bought a set of 3 for £14.95, but then you also have £4.95 for the delivery. So altogether that was £19.90 for the wall hooks, but worth every penny. Then I have some decorative shelves, and I had some cable organizers, and I bought a few things from Shein, which would be on my last video where I did my Shein haul. That cost me £40.21, which isn't bad, you know. A lot of the cable organization things were rubbish because they were supposed to stick on like your chest of drawers or whatever, and they fell right off. A waste of money. I bought these like hands as well that I was going to stick like fake nails on and have like a featured set and put them on the wall and whatever, but the hand just looks so creepy. It didn't matter which way you put it, it just looked so creepy. So I was like, oh, now I have 3 hands that I have nothing, like I don't know what to do with them now, so we're just gonna keep them until I find something to do with them. If I don't, then Facebook Marketplace. I have a nail aftercare sign as well up on the wall. I'll put a picture up of it here. eBay, £7.39, nice and easy. Things like desk organizers, like the sort of like the dividers in the desks, and obviously I've got like pumps here. So this one is sanitizer, and this one here is sun cream. These are B&M, as in they're not super duper expensive. So I would say, I was back and forth as well between B&M, but I would say that there was probably like £35-ish. The mirror as well that I got for the nail mirror is from B&M, and that was a £5. So yeah, I think about £35, probably a bit more, but I'm gonna put 35 for now. And then my apron that I always forget to wear, it was £14.95. It has my name embroidered on it, which I think is lovely. But I want my logo, you know, I want one that does like my actual logo. But I think for now, the one that I have is good enough. So altogether, that is £142.49. Then finally, moving on to appliances, and this kind of moves on into the next video that I want to do, which is more about like nail tech supplies. Your acrylic powders, your monomers, your polishes, your brushes, all that stuff that you're gonna need to set up. I will add this into it as well, because some of them I did have to buy for the studio as well. I've kind of mixed them in with like nail essential or not. So I have a fan, which I bought recently because obviously it's summer, it's hot, and I needed a fan. So the fan was £62.99 from Amazon, and it comes with a remote, so I can control it from here rather than having to get up, so that's really good. Then I have a dust collector, very strong and powerful. I love this dust collector so much. It's from Sunshine Equipment. Then a high heat sterilizer. I got this from eBay for £25.99. Again, it's part of my 3-step process of me cleaning my utensils. So I do a clean, a disinfect, and a high heat sterilization. Then I have an ultrasonic cleanser as well, so that's more specifically for like drill bits when they get bits of product stuck in them, and that was $25.99 as well from Amazon. And then finally I have an e-file. This one I have to plead my case because I already had an e-file, right? This was my e-file. Nothing wrong with it, you know. I mean, it's a JSDA power. This is a JD400 model. I don't know what that means, but if just in case you wanted a name for it. My mum bought this during the pandemic because she thought she was going to be able to do her own nails. She was doing that like dip powder thingy. It didn't turn out very well, no offense to her. So she gave me this once I started, you know, doing nails myself, and honestly, it's so trusty and reliable, but it is so clunky. It's so heavy and it takes up so much space on the desk. Also the RPMs, it just says speed control, like it doesn't really give you a number. So when people are like, oh, I use this at about 3,000, I don't know what that means. This is just here, up and down, up and down. But then I changed. I mean, if anyone knows me, right, if anyone wants to get me anything for my birthday or Christmas, please get me the Lucy Pastorelli e-file in like that nice champagne color, because it's been sitting in my basket and they keep deleting it and they keep adding it. I just can't afford it right now. So this is a Melody Susie one, and honestly, this is really good. I like the fact that it's wireless. I like the fact that you can pause, like when you're drilling, you don't have to turn it all the way off, you can just pause it. It's just really efficient and it fits in your drawer really nicely. So I still have my old e-file should anything go wrong with that. I think it's always good to have backups, but I want that Lucy Pastorelli one like so bad. I will have it one day, and the day I make that video where I go, guys, I have the Lucy Pastorelli e-file, and everyone will be like, oh my god, she's gone and done it. I was like, yeah, I wanted it, so I went and got it. But anyway, all the appliances together have cost me £275.94 so far. Once we add everything up together, we have a grand total of £8,172.33. That's how much it has cost me roughly to build a studio. I'm actually a bit surprised, to be honest. Like, I thought it was going to be higher, because in one of my last videos I estimated 12 to 15k. So I'm actually surprised that it's under 10k, and I honestly feel like that's so reasonable. I think once you add everything up, and I'm saying like everything, I'm talking like polishes, acrylics, your brushes, just little trinkets, your armrests, things like that, things for a nail tag. Because even my appliances, I do have a UV lamp, but I got that for Christmas, so I didn't pay for that. I think it was about £60 from Amazon. I will say I do want a new one, just because it's always good to have one or two, especially like if one goes out, like it's really good to have a backup. I honestly believe in backup so much. Always have a backup of your appliances just in case you really are going to need them. So things like your e-files, your dust collectors, like if you have a backup, perfect. But yeah, I'm very surprised that it came to under 10k, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So yeah, I really hope that this video has helped if you are thinking about building a nail studio in your garden, or just any sort of space such as a workshop or an office. I really hope that this price breakdown has kind of given a bit of more like transparency and a bit more clarity into how much things can be. Obviously I'm a bit of a spender, so some of my prices might be a bit high for things, especially like with things like the electrician, obviously because they had to do the garden work. That's probably what's driven that price up as well. Always search the internet for discounts. Abandoned baskets just to see if you can get a discount on anything. Some retailers, they do send out like 10% or 15%. Always sign up for those welcome emails. You will get a code that you can use. Always have a look as well, like on Facebook groups, if anyone has a discount code for a certain brand. That's always really helpful as well. Always go for your discount codes. Never pay full price as much as you can, just because, you know, this stuff is expensive. So yeah, so that concludes this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and you found it useful. As always, please like, subscribe and share, and I will see you very soon. Bye.